All right. So we got some potentially sad news for some people. E3 this year has been officially canceled, which a lot of people were saying what happened, and some people were saying, nah, let's just wait and see. This is stuff's happened before, and in some ways, just because Ubisoft says they're not going and the X company says they're not going, doesn't mean it's canceled. PlayStation, I think Sony saying they were basically not there. The whole industry is not them, but at the same time, it's the majority of what's going on. These big companies, right? So I want to just give you an idea of my thoughts on this. And by the way, E3 has been going on since 1995. I don't think it was originally quite as video game-esque as it wound up being eventually. I'm just thinking off of when I was a little kid, right? But it's been going since 1995, so it's kind of weird to see it go out. I think people have a big nostalgic feeling for it. But I think the writing's been on the wall for a while for E3. Not only did they have like some controversies. If you didn't know, there's like some event where like they basically doxed everyone that was there, but their information got released. Like, that's a big snafu, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing that happened. But also mostly I think is where the industry went. COVID obviously didn't help, right? Like in-person stuff or whatever. But I think it's mostly the industry moving away and moving on. They moved away from this model. Because think about it, right? Okay, well, I want to control what I'm doing. I want to put out what I want, and you're telling me I have 2 hours and 53 minutes, right? Oh, but the show is actually only going to be an hour, okay? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't know what the actual the semantics and the actual process was, but you know, you're in this room. This is the room you're in. This is what you have to work with. This is your time slot. Can you get your stuff together? Whatever, right? There's a lot of things that you can't control, and you're paying just a lot of money, a whole lot of money to be there, which it just doesn't make any sense, right? Because those companies can do exactly what I'm doing right now with you, but the only thing is, like, they control all of it. When you do it in-house, or not even in-house, if you have someone produce it or whatever, I mean, you still control your narrative. You control all aspects, all facets. You put out exactly what you want. You can mull it over, and you can have it come out exactly how you want, right? There's no live process to it, which that may take the hype away a little bit, right? But ultimately, for the gargantuan majority of us, we all watched it like this, right? Like you are right now. We watch it just like this. And when we get hype, I mean, you could watch it with your friends, or there's Discord calls and stuff now. You get hype at Discord or whatever, whatever service you want to use. But most of the time when this stuff happens and stuff is breaking, I'm always alone, right? And I do get excited, and it makes me want to get on here and talk about stuff, it does. But ultimately, we moved away from it. Like, it's dead and gone. Like, we're away. Like, if E3... Now, by the way, this 100% does not mean that E3 is dead forever, okay? That's not what that means. I did see someone come out and say that we will continue... it could be just... For you guys that don't believe in this, you're just a fool. Business speak, right? We will continue to look forward and put our best efforts towards future E3 projects. That could just be, shop talk, really. Not even shop talk, business, what's the word? Etiquette. Business etiquette speech. It just mean like, this shit dead, bro. It gone. It gone. It could mean that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that yet. So the thing is, it's not exactly been open to the public anyways, right? Like, there are some influencers or some people that, if you lived in Cali, you could maybe get in, maybe if you knew some people, you could get in. but you must have to be like press and stuff. They started going that way, and it was like, okay, well then it's like, okay, well then it's the press person. The press person is going to write all these articles. They're going to have all these interviews with all these developers, and all this stuff. Now, I think it's cool, right? I do think it's cool that they had this big platform for them to, here it is, like, you know, live, and all the people can have their interviews with them and get their little own personal tidbits and sent out or whatever, you know, all these articles. Like, if you want to get all the narrative, you would have to get with all these people. You would have to get with, and there's little tidbits you put together when people let stuff slip, you know, little, they're like micro leaks in a way, you know. People have loose lips. So, I mean, that will go away a little bit. But also, when they do games and stuff, if you don't know, they have to do things called like vertical slices, and it's basically like they have to make a build of the game for that alone. And that takes a lot of resources, a lot of time. And as we know, man, like, if anyone's actually been paying attention, like, dude, I know I don't see Project L over there trending. Anyways, I'm about to click that fast. Anyways, back on track. I can't get back on track. I'm done. Holy shit. What I want to say is that now with the vertical slices, everything at the company, that games now are getting more and more bloated. They're costing more and more money, and they're also taking more and more time. And any miss or slip or slip up is an issue. Massive issue. I mean, Forspoken cost a lot of money to make, and it did not do nearly as good. And they literally have DLC coming out in May. And I mean, if they're announcing that before the end of March, I mean, they had that stuff almost ready to go, essentially. You know what I mean? Like, they probably had people that moved off projects, but they probably had that DLC pretty close to being finished. Which is kind of crazy. They thought it was gonna be that big of a hit. And it's just not. So that's what I think about the E3 thing, man. You know, the PlayStation exclusive, all that stuff. But also, it's like, there's too many pieces that have to coincide with this one date, right? Now, if going forward, you have your own thing, right? Say for instance, GTA, right? Grand Theft Auto wasn't quite ready for E3. We're not quite ready, but a month later, we're ready. You know, I mean, are you going to be more excited, less excited? You're still going to be excited for something like that, you know? And it puts a lot of pressure on them to hit those deadlines, which, admittedly, some people should be pushed to hit some deadlines because that's our jobs, ultimately. Everyone's got a job. I know there's art. There's also a lot of money. There's a job, you know, somewhere in between. Eventually, you got to make this product. You got to get this product to the people that are paying, because somebody got to keep the lights on. Somebody got to do it. You know, these 10-year development cycles, it better pay off. It better, or you're gone, you know? So, yeah, I think E3 being gone is not really that big of a deal. I think it was kind of a husk anyways. If it's truly dead, it was exciting, but I think it's mostly nostalgia speaking, you know? Like I was mentioning earlier, if you did get in, there was some open to the public events, right? But the problem was, it was like on like day, I think 2 or 3, I think. So you've seen everything, right? You watched it like this. You weren't in there. You didn't get to see it in person. You didn't get to talk to anybody in person there. You did exactly what you're going to do anyways, which is watch it online some way and get excited that way. It just cuts middlemen out. There's not a lot of paying to be there. You don't have to bend to whatever narrative they got. Oh my goodness, what just happened? This thing cut off. You don't have to, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. You don't have to bend over to their will. You can do it yourself. You control way more. You have way more control. You also have a lot more flexibility with yourself. It's not live. You can present it exactly the way you want. Don't slip up. You can do whatever you need to put it out the best way you think possible. And I just hope that they are more proactive, right? Now, I don't mind being told a game's coming out, but it's like, dude, like, what was it? Avowed? When was Avowed announced? Yeah, Tekken 3, by the way. When was Avowed? 2020? Is it really only? It's been 3 years? Surely not. Was it just 2020? It's been 3 years without seeing anything about it, though, bro. Most of the time, a game would be out. You haven't seen another thing about it at all. So, yeah. I mean, they announced it. They showed a little trailer, a little teaser trailer. It's been 3 years. We haven't heard nothing. I don't like that. 2 years, maybe. Something to be really excited about, you know? But, yeah. E3's dead, guys. Potentially. So, let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment, and we'll see you next time.